All right, you got your camera up here. I mean, Jesus, you're worse than the president right now, figuring out the angles and the lighting and.
Well, I'm trying to see what's good. Okay, let's go, man.
Is this good? Is
Yeah,
this enough light? Is this enough light to cover the white in the beard or what?
Makeup.
So I guess we'll start that way. Oh man.
Yeah. Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready whenever you are. Hey,
saying, what's on your hat?
I know.
Is it a buffalo? What is
it's
that?
It's a buffalo with the American here.
Well, I can see the American flag. I just didn't know if that was a buffalo.
I sure hope it is.
Okay.
I mean, that's what I bought it with, the pretense of it being a buffalo. So if it turns out to be something else, then whatever.
Let's go.
All right. This is all going in, by the way. This whole let's go, because this whole thing was pretty good.
If that's your taste, if that's your level, if that's your acceptable level.
Hey, we're going with the cold. Like I said,
you're imposing those quality control standards, man. Go ahead.
Hey, cold opening. Like I said.
Let's go.
All right, let's go.
Hi, everybody.
Hi. This is John Tobin. If you haven't figured this out before, if you haven't listened to his last episode he was on, I don't even know what the heck the number is by this time, what it was then. And who really cares what episode it is, because you'll see it on the title. So it doesn't matter.
I think I'm dressed the same. I didn't want to confuse anybody, so I'm pretty sure I'm wearing the same.
You know what? Yeah, I put on a different shirt just in case. Yeah.
I don't know if I had the same hat.
I don't think you had the Yankee hat on, the stanky hat. I mean,
but the season opened last night, so I'm wearing my Yankee hat. I actually got this when I was a coach for my daughter's Little League team.
Oh, really?
This hat's probably 2 years old, but it looks 30 years old.
Well, I don't mean to crap on your daughter's Little League team, but they didn't deserve the win last night, the Yankees, by the way.
Why didn't they deserve to win?
How
they beat up on Max Scherzer, one of the best in the game, Max Scherzer.
Come on.
Who A-Rod calls Scherzer. What is with A-Rod?
Rain delay, though, on the beginning, the first game of the season, a shortened season. Get out there and play afterwards, or do it again. I mean, pick it up tomorrow or today. That is, because it was yesterday.
Yeah, I thought about that too, because all home openers have a day off built into it.
Right.
For the next day in the event that there's a rain out, but that's just for the crowd. If people can still make it to, okay, well, we got screwed out of the opener, we can come back the next day. But there's no crowds. They can kind of do whatever they want. So I think maybe the Yankees or the Nationals had to travel.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. To check.
I think the Yankees, when's their home? I think it's the 20. It's like, what, Sunday or Monday, isn't it? They're home.
I don't know.
Very shortly. I just thought I heard it last night when I was watching it.
It takes an hour. Not to sound like I'm 100 years old, but it takes like 20 moves to find out the stupid calendar.
Look at all those bubbles on that screen shield.
Wow, you can make that out?
I can make all the bubbles out. No, you don't have to take it off. I'm not.
No,
this is not a criticism.
I do want to straighten it out. I tried to iron it, but.
Hey, you know what? I'm not even going to tell you. I'm going to try to iron my floor, the stupid vinyl sheeting they got in this place. And they got dents in it because of the dogs. Dogs are dogs. They're going to play and whatnot. And I read something where you take a wet towel and you put it on the dent and you put an iron on top of it, and it's supposed to make that cushion vinyl. So, yeah, I might be ironing my floors before soon. So
good luck, man. Before soon. Well, that's pretty soon.
Stop making fun of my little
before long.
My caught on southern whatever.
Before soon. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah,
so
before
Yankees of course deserved the win.
No, they didn't deserve the win. That was the whole point of this conversation. They didn't deserve it.
Dude, you want to go bullpen against bullpen? Sure.
What was the score? What was the score of the game? 4-1. Okay.
4-1. They had gotten one hit through 5 innings. They were handcuffed. They're done. They lost Rendon. Zimmerman is sitting the season out. They're a diminished club. Come on.
But that hit was a home run, was it not? Wasn't it?
It was a solo shot.
It was a solo shot. Yeah. So they couldn't have 3 more solo shots as the inning went on. You don't know. You don't know.
No.
You got your reliever coming in. You got your setup man.
Garrett Cole was cruising. As expensive as he is, paid off. Paid off in his first start.
Paid off with no fans. Well, we don't know how he does under pressure. I mean, that was with the stadium of no fans.
Speaking of the no fans, all right?
I saw you going to get into your little post by now because I wrote that down. I saw your Facebook post about the
Dodgers. What a missed opportunity. These teams have cutouts. Now some teams are allowing you to, let's say you personally wanted to send in a fathead, basically one of those images that people hang on the wall.
Okay.
You can pay money to have you or someone represented in the stands.
I didn't know that. I never heard about that.
Well,
That's
they're
very
doing
cool.
whatever they can to make money. Yeah, it's
Oh,
kind of
absolutely.
cool. But I'm thinking, man, so many marketing opportunities are missed. You get those Japanese sex robots, those companies.
Yeah.
And I went online after I posted this. I said, what a missed opportunity. You fill the stands up with these unbelievably lifelike robots. If you're that company, and boom, that's what people are now watching for 8-10 minutes at a time for free.
Right.
You're not paying for the advertising. You're just saying, all right, you want a cardboard standee? That's fine. Here, boom, live robots. Now, if it rains, you might have a problem. And they all short circuit.
Well, sure.
You
I know they all
fry. These things
the
are
vibration
20,000.
mode kicks in.
Yeah, I watched Katie Couric. I did a search on it, and the most recent one I could find was, I think, 2017. Katie Couric sat down and did an interview. One of these extraordinarily beautiful and lifelike mannequins / sex robots.
Was it just the head part of it?
No.
I think I saw that. It was the whole thing. Okay. Never mind. I'm thinking of a different interview then. I saw that. Okay.
Yeah, you can search these things out. But, man, you fill up the stands with those, at least, field level, that are going to be on TV when you're seeing from behind the pitcher. That's huge. And they can react.
Yeah.
They can react. You can have them thrilled or happy or yell whatever people yell at ball games anymore. Back in the day, it was, we want to hit, we want to hit.
I know this is only going to be for the YouTube, but is happy like this?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And the best part about it, you can hit them with foul balls. You can take down that net that's behind the seats. Just let them get hit with foul balls.
You know what? Oh, that's great. You put numbers on their chest representing like monetary values, or people can buy that number. And if your number of the sex doll gets hit, boom, right. Yeah. Oh man,
put
Vegas.
Like fuzzy, like brightly colored fright wigs on them. And you can knock them down like at the carnival, like at the county fair, when you throw the baseball and knock those things down.
Hey.
There's a million ways to go, and they're stupid to not exploit it.
That's a lot of money opportunities right there.
Sure it is. What would you pay? I mean, Jesus Christ.
Well, you know what? Have you seen, because when I saw you post that last night, have you seen the one that they've actually done this in Japan? They've actually put robots in the stands.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. I don't know if it was the minor leagues in Japan, but look it up.
Because of COVID?
No. This is years ago. And when
okay.
I saw you post that, I'm like, holy cow, this is going back to that. But what they did with that, John, is that they actually would sell those seats. So people that couldn't make it could buy that robot, if you will, and they would be able to see through that robot. Like the robot had a camera on it. So they
could watch on their computer at home?
Yes.
But they get the vantage point of the seat.
Yes, and their face, the person's face it's an optional thing, can pop up on the robot's face. Like you were saying with the cardboard cutouts with the faces. And they would have the option, the person at home could click buttons and have them do like the wave and change the little sign and all that. So I don't know why they haven't picked up on,
to make a great alibi.
You could still sell seats.
But you could also commit a murder, but the robot with your face on it could be at the game. You know the Larry David story?
No.
I heard Larry David refer to this in an interview, I think with Michael Kay on Center Stage on the Yes Network. But then
hold on one second. You just kind of glitched a little bit. I apologize. Go ahead. So you saw Larry David do it when? I apologize.
I'm 90% sure it was in an interview with Michael Kay on Center Stage, which is on the Yes Network.
Right.
It's an interview show, one-on-one, about an hour long. Anyway, I heard him tell this story. Then last year, I'm looking at Netflix, and I see this documentary. They actually made a documentary about this case. Here's what happened. This guy in Los Angeles gets accused of murder.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't have an alibi that anyone can corroborate, right?
Yeah.
He says, I was at the Dodger game, but you were at the Dodger game when this murder took place. Mm-hmm. Okay, can you prove it? Well, no, I don't have the ticket stubs. So what do? They check. He says, you know what I remember? He tells his lawyer, I remember there was a TV crew there shooting an episode for like an inning or two. They got a couple shots.
Okay.
It was Curb Your Enthusiasm, I think.
Oh, jeez.
So what do? The lawyer gets in touch with Curb Your Enthusiasm, Larry David, and he says, hey, this is kind of off the wall, but I have a client who's up on murder charges. He claims he was at Dodger Stadium at the time of the murder, and he also claims that he saw your film crew shooting a couple of scenes in the stands. Now, if possible, could I get a look at your footage and see if I could see my client on film?
Yeah.
And if he's on film, then this guy is he's free and clear. They sit down. Larry says, yeah, I mean, what is the least I can do, of course. They go down to the editing bay. They're sitting there. They're looking. Boom, 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 boom. Time's going by. This scene, that shot, footage rolling by. All of a sudden, the attorney goes, that's him. That's my client right there. Zoom in on that. Boom. They zoom in. It's the guy's client. Free and clear.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So if that,
doesn't make me think of the Japanese guy could do the same thing, except he doesn't have to be there because you said it could put his, what's the word I want? Visage? How do we pronounce that? Visage?
I don't know.
His face on the screen in front of the robots. And think about this. If you have these, and these robots are all 10s, by the way, if not 11s. Right?
Well,
they're ridiculous.
Your robots, that is. Your idea of the robots, yes.
Right.
Yeah, okay, or 10s.
Right. Yeah. How hard are the players going to play?
But they're clothed, I hope.
Well, they're clothed. No, yeah, but still. And the players are always trying, like, they see a hot chick in the stands, they'll bring an usher down, try to give him a note and say, hey, go get her number and pass a note.
Who's the dumbest Major League Baseball player that somebody can get to actually go up and hit on one of them thinking they're real, though? That would be a great thing to find out, or to see who is the stupidest person in Major League Baseball that his club could kind of convince that, hey, she's checking you out over there. Go, why don't you go say something?
Probably some Met. It would be a Met.
I'm glad you didn't say Red Sox, though. Thank you.
Oh, the Red Sox, yeah, with their don't get me started on those mutts.
Why the mutts? Please.
Come on, man.
They gave you the best baseball player ever, or one of, I should say. Who?
Babe Ruth?
Yes.
Wasn't free.
Huh?
Wasn't free. They paid for him.
Yeah, you gave up some Broadway shows.
Yeah, the guy wanted to finance Net on Broadway.
Stupid. Unbelievable. Stupid. I don't know. But yeah, I saw that post that you put on about those or about
the marketing.
This is a whole opportunity going to the wayside, and that immediately thought about those other robots. You got to check them out when we're done or something. And they're complete. They can actually stand up, and they have a little placard that they hold, and it, I don't know Japanese, so I don't know what.
It's amazing what they can do. They've had robots. Man, you could go back probably 5 years for this one too. Robots doing backflips. It's a company called Boston Dynamics that Google bought years ago. Google, your friendly search engine. We're just a search engine. What? Satellites in the
search
sky.
And seizure engine.
Street level photos of every square inch of the United States. Just a search engine. What do you need? A recipe for pound cake? We got that for you. Sure. Search us up. We're Google. That's all we're about. What do you want to know? The capital of Pennsylvania? You don't know it's Harrisburg? Google, what's the capital of Pennsylvania? Who cares if they bought a defense contractor called Boston Dynamics that makes robots? Have you seen this? That they're deer now, too. They have like fake deer, and they can climb any terrain. They have them walking down the hallways of the office. Dudes will come up and just shove them from the side. They'll get off balance, like, and they get back on balance. They're all like gyroscopically oriented.
Really?
It's amazing what they have.
Oh, God, I want one of those deers just to shove it around my place.
The Democrats ought to get a Joe Biden robot is what they should do at this point.
They already have one.
No, they don't. They probably should get one.
Well, they probably will need one. And, if, God forbid, he wins in first year, they need one to replace him. Anyways, but so I saw you posted that on social media or the Facebook and so forth about those robots, and I got
missing an opportunity. Here's another one. It's like murder. You watch a baseball game, and then afterward, the star of the game will be interviewed on the field, right? They'll send some crew member over, and her job is usually a woman, and her job is typically to avoid getting splashed by the Gatorade because
Or
somebody's
the
always
pie. Yeah.
try to douse their teammate, but they always try to get hurt too.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's a dude. Either way, sometimes they're talking to a non-English speaking Latin player or Japanese player or Korean player. And these interviews are so tedious because the interviewer will ask the interpreter will ask the ball player will respond to the interpreter, and then the interpreter will tell the interviewer.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like
you don't know what's being said.
Oh, it's like 2 minutes for the guy to say, yeah, I was looking fastball and I got one. You know,
exactly.
It's so they're so protracted and tedious, but they have on people's phones pretty good programs that translate. Now, how does this company that creates these things not sponsor those interviews?
That's true.
Where they could just go out there and say, Hideki Matsui, there's a big spot there, blah, 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 blah. Boom. And this thing just reads back in English. You remove 2 steps from the process, and you're showing this thing off, and you're making money.
Yep.
Because if you're the TV network, you're making money for them sponsoring the spot.
Hey, I had to use my, about a year ago, we had a student come and no English whatsoever. Spanish, Puerto Rican Spanish, that is, which is completely different from the Spanish I was taught in high school and, college and so forth. And that's all I did was use my phone. I mean, I typed the stuff in there. And the funny part is, though, I would type it in and say translate in Spanish, and he would go, no, that's not right. He would, how everybody has different dialects. Yeah. So I'm assuming that was very traditional Spanish in the Translate app, and what he was used to was not. So
do they have a name for their dialect?
I don't know. I never got that far.
There's a word Boricua, which is part of Puerto Rican culture. I don't know exactly what it means.
I've heard that before.
I don't know if those are the indigenous people from which they sprang. I think I don't know if it's a song or not. It may be a song. It may be represented in a song. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. But, I was thinking the same thing. And you could even sell, going back to those, if this continues, you could even sell those seats with those dolls and so forth by putting a webcam in them and having those people watch the game right there. I mean, you could watch the game. But how are they not without the money? They're missing out on a huge. I know it would be a great capital investment. I mean, they'd have to spend a lot of money up front, but you're still selling seats. People can still say, I went to this game or I was at this game when they're not even leaving their couches, really, in a sense. Yeah,
but you know what? I mean, you miss out, I would think. Who cares if you're watching from a seat in the stands?
Right, you don't get that.
Baseball's not a great game. You don't know what's a strike, what's a ball, what was thrown. You can't see the break on a pitch. You can't see anything really.
Yeah, because most of the time you're looking up at the monitor to find out what the
deal is. You can't see anything.
Yeah,
which is always great. It's always great. This is what I love about baseball fans. Baseball fans can be, the Bob Uecker, the famous Bob Uecker in the last throw. He missed the tag. I mean, that's exactly what baseball fans are like. 2-2 pitch, and the guy takes, and it's a visiting player, and he takes, and the ump calls the ball 3, so now it's 3. Like they can see. It's so funny, man. It's hilarious.
It is. Well, I was my dad.
It is, but everybody feels so strongly about it,
No, you're right. Well, you know what? Hey, in football too. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, I get that way, in football season and so forth. To the fact that sometimes my dogs run into the other room because they're tired of me yelling or scared that I'm yelling at them or so forth. But
and who are you down with now? You're a Clemson guy, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, I follow them during, college football. I never got into college football that much. Coming from where we come from, upstate, New York or the Hudson Valley and so forth, there was no college football. I mean, Syracuse was really it. If we're going to watch anything.
Right.
So, it's.
But you're not in like a major conference territory.
Right.
Whereas down south, I mean.
Oh gosh, yes.
You got an hour this way, you have a rival. An hour that way, you have a rival, and.
Right. Yeah.
It's way cooler. I'd love to see an SEC game. I've never been to an SEC ball game.
No. I haven't either. So I mean,
been to a couple West Point games.
West Point. Oh yeah, God, going down to Michigan Stadium.
That. But I mean, these are smaller schools, and the environment's pretty cool. But it's not like going to a game at LSU or Alabama. It's just not the same environment. I'd love to see one of those.
Gosh,
I've seen Notre Dame. I've been to Notre Dame.
Well, you just reminded me. I went and saw Notre Dame with my grandfather and my uncle. Notre Dame, Boston College down the old Giant Stadium when they played there. And when you had mentioned a couple of the games there, I went. Yeah, that place was packed. Yeah, I don't remember much of it, but Lou Holtz was the coach.
Oh, wow. Going back.
He was. I know. He was. Something happened. He broke his leg or something. I think he got hit. Remember, he got hit in the sideline. The guy plowed into him on the sideline when he was the coach for Notre Dame, and he wasn't on the side. Gosh, look at all these memories coming back.
I think you're thinking of Dan Devine.
No. This was Lou Holtz.
Dan Devine broke his leg.
I wasn't old enough for Dan Devine. That was way before my time. No.
Okay.
Lou Holtz, something happened with his leg. He didn't break it, maybe an ACL or something, but he was up in the booth. They wouldn't let him come down on the field to coach that game. But yeah, oh gosh, see, I didn't even think about that for years. Holy cow.
For all I know, Dan Devine broke his leg in the pros. I don't remember.
I don't know. I'm going to find out. Well, yeah, see, I think it was just a rollover, like somebody, a play was going out of bounds, and, he got his leg rolled over. Leg injury. There we go. Look at that. It popped right up on Google.
There you go.
Holt suffered broken leg during practice. Oh, that's Gamecock one.
Oh, when he was at South Carolina.
It's got to be Notre Dame.
Check out Dan Devine injury.
Oh, is it going to be another one of those, what's his faces? Injures big.
Dan Devine was the coach there when Rudy was there.
Right. Yeah, that's the only reason I remember him, to be honest with you, since from the movie, Rudy. And, geez. Oh, gosh.
Dan Devine injury.
I'm still looking for Lou Holtz. I have a one-track mind. If I find something, then I got to find the answer for it, or else it's going to drive me nuts. So,
I don't want that.
Now, Dan Devine, though, what was I going to say? It's not a, God, what the heck's his name? Washington Redskins quarterback.
Theismann.
Yeah, thank you. Not one of his, is it? Like that? Dan Devine injury?
No. Another Notre Dame guy, though. Joe Theismann.
Yeah, that's true. Dan Devine, 19...
Did you put injury?
I put in Dan Devine broken leg. Suffered a broken leg following a sideline.
Right. Might have been with the Packers.
It says Devine's career in Green Bay. Crap.
Okay.
See, when you click it, it goes away. So, but yeah, it says Green Bay Packers occurred in a sideline or something like that. I got from the
right. Yep.
short little whatever. So,
okay.
I don't know. I'd have to go through that whole thing. But yeah, I don't remember. It was ACL or maybe, I don't know, maybe he was getting too old at that point or learned too much and he didn't understand. That was the worst when he was on ESPN, though. Oh, my God.
Oh, brutal. Well, A-Rod's doing that now. Like, A-Rod's making his career reclamation tour. He's on ESPN now.
Oh, no, he talks like that?
Oh, man.
See, I hate him too much to watch him, so.
Well, you know who pitched for Washington last night? Scherzer.
Scherzer?
Yeah. He's so bad with it, man. He's trying.
Like Nancy Pelosi.
You know Chris Carter.
Yeah.
Chris Carter,
wait, the NFL.
Wide receiver,
okay.
Philly, Minnesota. Yeah. Ended up in the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
Had some drug issues and was bit of a troubled teammate. Philly got rid of him because he was, difficult. Anyway, Chris Carter wants to reclaim. I don't know if he did this deliberately, but because Chris Carter became a guy with, I'm pretty sure it's NFL Network. I don't know which one has him on. It might be Fox or CBS. Doesn't matter. But the fact that he was on the air for a number of years, these guys are able to reclaim a certain status with the public.
Oh, okay. I see what
you're saying. A-Rod is trying to do that now. Now, A-Rod, he's got the big one. He's got steroids. He's got the steroid thing hanging over his head.
Right.
And for him to get into the Hall of Fame, it's going to take a lot of rehab, as far as rehabilitating his image and being accepted. We all see Pete Rose has been out for 35 years where he can't get a sniff of the vote for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, for simple gambling when this guy used illegal drugs.
Baseball does hold a grudge. The writers do anyway. And there are some guys that are never going to vote for Barry Bonds, and some guys won't vote for A-Rod ever. But A-Rod is at the very least distancing himself from Barry Bonds, who's always been considered kind of a prick. Mm-hmm. A-Rod is at least getting himself in front of the public 100, 200 times a year. He's been on Shark Tank. He may have been on Dancing with the Stars. I don't know what he's done, but the point is he's trying to rehab his image to become sort of a guy that A-Rod, he's all right. And maybe he sneaks into the Hall of Fame 5 or 10 years from now. I don't think it's going to work. And I think the reason is because he says Scherzer. I think that's what's holding him back at this point, the silly pronunciation of Scherzer. I don't know why he's doing that. He never did it. I've heard him interviewed in his career.
It's because he stopped taking the steroids. The muscles and all that are clamping up and all that, just like Tiger Woods.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, I noticed the dead air after that one. Yeah. Oh, trust me, I got 3 pages over here of
Let's go.
To back that up.
Bring it. Eldrick Taunt Woods, the greatest golfer ever.
Want me to pull it out? Go ahead. You finish your story. I'll pull the paper out.
Well, I'll just talk about the most bitter golfer ever, and a guy who resents Tiger.
Who, me?
No. Despite smiling in his face and proclaiming his admiration for Tiger's accomplishments, Jack Nicklaus. Last week in that stupid course that he owns and what he did with the conditions, it's like.
Did you see them ripping up the greens?
Yeah.
Did you see them ripping up the greens after they played? They were just shoveling them out and like, holy. Imagine if you're one of the memberships of that course and you see that. The amount of money you paid to be a member there, and they're ripping up a green. Oh no, sorry, I didn't mean to get you off track, but
but it's it was one of the first times, or one of the handful of times in the history of PGA Tour golf where back-to-back tournaments were played on the same course. Mm-hmm. It never works out that way because of COVID. They kind of got sandwiched together. Right. Memorial is Jack's tournament. It's an annual thing. And then they did the one the week before, which was. I'm trying to think of who the sponsor was. Help me out here.
That was it? No, it wasn't the Rocket Mortgage one, was it?
Rocket was in Detroit.
Yeah. And
right.
Not Travelers. Oh gosh, I don't know.
Workday.
Yes, it was the Workday. Yeah. Because Phil was a big Workday person now. Yeah.
Correct. So. They beat up on the course pretty well. The players, I think the winner ended up 20 under or 21 under, 22, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Went to a playoff. Great. And I'm watching it and I'm saying, man, this is a beautiful course. Very challenging. There's a lot of water. There's a lot of angles, a lot of cuts, a lot of sand, a lot of, elevation changes. There's a lot to it. It's a great course. And it had that signature, a Nicklaus course always has stuff going across. There's a lot of waste areas you have to carry.
Yeah.
Or hit short of if you can't carry. And sometimes it's just a patch of rough that cuts across the fairway from left to right, causing you to strategize a little bit more.
Accuracy.
But range too. Distance as well.
True.
So it's got its built-in Nicklaus challenges with the water, the sand, and these waste areas that'll catch the ball. Now that's bad enough. But then the jackass has to not water the greens, not water the fairways, and his fairways are all tilted too, either left to right or right to left.
Right.
The most fantastic players in the world, I think they had 46 of the top 50 were on that on the roster for that tournament, and nobody could keep it in the fairway. And the stupid creep Jack Nicklaus is just out there in his golf cart driving around, a sinister son of a bitch, resentful of all these guys. Man, it's the equipment. They got to change the ball. This guy's hit too far. Well, maybe it's his shape, Jack. Maybe you played 100 years ago. I still want to be considered the best ever. Wow, who's this Tiger? Who's this guy coming along? And he's always resented Tiger for even being in a conversation with him.
That was actually pretty good, yeah.
For being in the conversation with him as the greatest ever. He wants to hang on to his legend. But I'll tell you something about this dude, all right? Here's the thing about Jack Nicklaus. He wants to lay claim to the greatest ever. And he wants to complain about equipment, right? Advances in technology, et cetera. But you know what? For him to be proclaimed that, it's so easy for him to just blow off Bobby Jones, Ben Hogan, Sam Snead, Walter Hagen. All these guys can go scratch their ass because now Nicklaus is the best ever.
Right.
And Tiger comes along, and the same son of a bitch that took on the mantle of greatest ever and blew these other legends off the map and was willing to do so, it's not like, well, what's the equipment? how much is this? No, jackass. They have a lot of tech now. And you watch, it's amazing how good these kids are. There's kids 21, 22, which actually kills Nicholas too. He hates a 22-year-old with a mansion and a plane. He hates that.
God.
It
Well, think
drives
about
him
it. I mean,
insane.
they didn't have those guys didn't have it back then. And I know things are different, with the money. But I mean, Jack and Arnie, they didn't have these big of houses and didn't make this kind of money back then.
Well, Nicholas got pretty rich. He started in the course design.
But that's the thing is he had to work for it.
He had videos, instructional videos. I mean, they did what they could. They branched out beyond what they earned during tournaments, and they did real well with it. Well, they endorsed things, etc. But these guys today are just way better players. Simple. They have sports psychologists, and a lot of them are very, very, very sharp under pressure. They have Top Tracer and TrackMan and different things that monitor their ball electronically when they practice. And they get this launch angle, and they get this amount of spin, trajectory, side spin, and it's all worked out. They get on the course, and they've hit that particular shot with
stupid. It really is.
All of these elements to it. They've practiced it a million times. Where Nicholas was just out there, hitting the ball and trying to make good contact, and that was enough in his day.
And hitting it straight.
Right.
It wasn't more or less draws and fades.
I'm sure they worked the ball a little bit, but they couldn't perfect working the ball. So this guy is so resentful about all this stuff that he makes his course, which is an already challenging course. He comes back a week later, doesn't water a goddamn thing. Everything's hard as a rock. And he's saying something like, it's summertime. It's summertime. Sometimes the course can dry out. It can dry out. It's like, what? You don't have sprinklers, asshole? Everybody knows a golf course has sprinklers.
I'm just picturing.
It didn't rain. What does that even mean? This happened, I think, at Whistling Straits years ago during the Open.
Oh, God, yeah. That was horrible.
The players were livid.
In a couple years before that at Shinnecock, I don't know if you remember, I think it was Shinnecock with Retief Goosen. He was having, it was horrible that year. They didn't water anything.
I might be thinking of Shinnecock and not Whistling Straits.
No.
But what I remember about Whistling Straits is Jordan Spieth said, I'm not playing. I'll never play you again.
No. Yeah. Yep.
Because it does get nonsensical. It gets like malicious. Nicholas is malicious. And he couldn't have been happier that the leader was like, 12 under, 10 under, took 10 strokes off of, where guys were the previous week.
A couple weeks ago. Yeah, I like that, though. I mean,
no, I don't like it at all.
I like
it
the tournament.
I'll tell you why. It was predictable. They'll have a camera behind the green, and a guy's hitting from the fairway. He's hitting his approach. The ball's up in the air. They get a close-up shot of the ball coming through the air. And after the first 50 times watching it hit right near the pin, and at a Nicholas course, all these courses, the pins are up front.
And then
you had to carry water, you had to carry a bunker, but you can't hit it short. You have to carry those things just to get it on the green. The pins are all up front. Boom, bang, bang, bang. Okay, now I get to watch this guy chip from up a hill 15 feet off the green from 6-inch rough.
Right.
It's like, I don't want to watch this. I don't want to see that.
I didn't think that much into it. I didn't watch it that more closely, but I love. Well,
he's a sinister, bitter old man.
Well, you know what? Just when you were doing your impression there, and remembering seeing him sitting in his little chair and whatnot in the little cart, it reminds me of the Penguin, like the Penguin, the villain in Batman. Yes, see.
That's what he needs. He needs a cigarette holder and a monocle.
A little FDR.
You gotta change the ball, man. I've been telling Batman. I've been telling him to change the ball, Batman. I've been telling him. Like he acts like he was hitting a goddamn ball full of feathers, and he was swinging a spoon and a cleek and a niblick. He's so full of shit.
I think he was. I think he did have a niblick in his bag.
Yeah, he had a niblick.
It wouldn't surprise me.
These stupid guys are swinging. They're swinging wooden shafts. Mm-hmm. Before, probably 20, 25 years before Nicholas, they're playing with wood shafts.
Imagine though, like a person today taking a swing with a wooden shaft. That thing would just snap on the downswing. It would snap on the downswing, not even on contact. Yeah. It would just be so much force.
Or at the top.
Yeah.
You watch DeChambeau. When DeChambeau gets to his top position, he doesn't cock his wrists. He holds it steady, and he gets that car antenna effect
Right.
here,
Yep.
and that starts his downswing. That's how he's able to get that extra couple, miles per hour. It's amazing what they've done. And of course, he has to resent Bryson DeChambeau, who has revolutionized things and quickly, and other players realize it. Like Tony Finau last week said, yeah, you know what? I tried to, in the off week in between, I tried swinging it real hard. And he goes, and I was able to hit it, enough of them, fairly straight, that I feel confident.
Right.
If I have a wide open hole, I'm gonna swing for my heels.
Yeah.
Because I can actually pull it off here and there. Now, Bryson can do it most of the time. When he misses the fairway, it's often not by much. A couple of them really go wide. But typically, he's just beyond the first cut. I love what he's doing. It's a trip.
Oh, I'll tell you, I remember one hole, and I went like that, not as a disrespect or anything, but I remember. No.
And there's Nichols. Here he is. And oh, Jack, did you see what Bryson did on 15 or 14, whatever? Oh, they're just carrying the trees and cutting the corner off it. Come back next year and have some trees there and some more sand and put some bunkers in there. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Jack's like our friend coming from the trees in the cart. Inside joke, nobody gets it, but that's okay. But I remember that one hole that
resentful, malicious. Oh my God.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say Bryson though, man, he hit that ball. I think it was a par 5, and he hit that ball all the way to the left. All the way to the left. I mean, he just blew it to the left-hand side, and he had he was going to hit an 8-iron into that par 5 through the trees and nailed it right on. I mean, just ridiculous amount of power, and he put on a lot of mass, I should say, and not necessarily muscle, but a lot of it's just mass.
Oh no, it's muscle, man. Look at his back. Golf is it's a posterior. The energy is generated posteriorly.
Yeah.
In golf, and he's got like big ass back muscles. He looks like the long drive guys that can't keep it on the course.
True. Yeah.
These guys are all like jacked, all 6'5", with big shoulders and chest, and they hit the ball a mile. They can barely keep it on this grid the size of a runway. But it's fun to watch.
Oh, yeah.
And Bryson has basically incorporated that kind of musculature and that kind of swing speed, except he can keep it straight because he's developed this crazy thing, whereas his left arm is really like in the socket and very solid. I think it's a trip what he's done.
I think so too. I mean, I'm not against him. Yeah.
Right. Good.
He's a nice guy though. I mean, well, the reason I was against Tiger Woods is because he acted like an arrogant, pompous ass every time when he first came on the stage, and anytime anybody talked to him, it was just very short, very no humanity, nothing. And in the recent years, he has, and people have been commenting on this, that he has shown a little bit more of a human side to him. Yeah. And he's kind of got me a little bit going towards his side now. But he was a pompous, arrogant ass when he came on, and a cheater, if you go by the stats and all that, with the steroids.
Make your case with the steroids. Go ahead.
I'm telling you, he was on steroids. I don't understand why nobody has even thought of this or thought of the idea that he might be on steroids or even investigated the idea, because the PGA Tour started testing in July of 2008. Okay. July of 2008 is when they started testing. I looked this up. Mm-hmm. Tiger Woods' last major was in July 2008, the U.S. Open against Rocco Mediate. What did he do there? Blows out his leg, 2 stress fractures and a torn ACL.
Right.
So if they started,
right,
beat him in a
playoff.
Beat him in a whole 18-hole playoff. Yeah, I mean, that was, hey, whatever. But if you started testing in July 2008, that means anybody taking stuff had to get off of it way, way, way back, enough time where it's out of your system. And if we go by the stats, from like 96 to 2008, he won 51 tournaments and 14 majors. 51 tournaments and 14 majors.
Up through 2008?
Yep, up through from 96 when he played his first professional tournament to 2008, July of 2008, excuse me, because he was out for the rest of the year, obviously, after his whole thing. 14 majors, 51 tournaments. From 2009, because that's when he came back, to 2019, 1 major, 15 tournaments.
No, 31 tournaments because he's at 82 now.
Well, I went through all his list on the PGA Tour.
He's at 82.
Yeah, but you count the majors, though, as part of those. That's my point.
Oh, you count them separate.
Yeah, I counted them separate.
Oh, I got you.
But if you count them all together, yeah.
Right.
I was on the PGA Tour's website and all this for that. But yes, so after his injury, since 2008, he's only won one major, obviously the Masters.
But he's missed a lot of time.
In 15 turns. Exactly. That's my point. His body has fallen apart because he stopped taking the stupid steroids and the stuff that was helping. And if you look it up, and I had it up on my computer before it shut down last time.
I think you're jumping to conclusions.
I don't know. I think somebody needs to investigate it. I'm not saying he definitely did, but it's all the information is there to say, let me think about this for a minute and go find out what actually happened. Why did this happen? Why did he have all these injuries though? Why are all these injuries happening? You don't see the other players having this just catastrophic amount of injuries year after year.
Well, two reasons. One,
other than his wife beating him with the golf club.
No, longevity. Guy's been swinging the club since he was 1.5, 2 years old.
Okay.
That's a lot of years. That's a lot. It's literally millions of swings. Millions.
Right.
Okay. He's known as a real marathon practicer. Practices like crazy. Okay. I remember Greg Norman saying years ago that Norman used to hit 6,000 balls a week. Yeah,
Shark.
6,000 balls a week. And that was back then. So it's 6,000 balls a week. And Woods had the most violent swing in the game. He swung the club harder than anybody. So it's millions.
That's called roid rage.
Roid rage.
That's why. He was angry.
You're trying to make a silly case.
No, I'm not trying to make a silly case.
I got to get you on the golf course. I haven't even played.
I know. I'm playing actually Sunday. My friend Matt's coming up to play in a tournament that he isn't going to win anything on, and I don't know why he pisses away his money on it. But he says he enjoys it, and if you enjoy shooting 90 to 95 in a tournament, then okay.
I remember a guy named Matt. Did I meet him?
Matt Nemus, probably, of course, yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. But what was I going to say with the Tiger thing? What was my point?
That you have a little Jack Nicklaus in you. And
no.
You just resent him.
I'm just saying I don't understand.
Hate his
success.
I
did. You know that. I mean, you used to make fun of me all the time how much I hate.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
We're not bringing that up right now.
No. But no, I was just thinking how we used to play the Nintendo game. I think it was I don't know if it was Nintendo or Microsoft. I don't remember.
Right. Oh, the Tiger Woods PGA Tour.
Yeah, I think it was Nintendo.
Yeah. But no,
what the hell was I going to say? I don't remember.
I don't remember either. But I think somebody should look that up. At least just look into it. If it happens, it happens, and then strip him of all his majors.
What are you going to look into? What are you going to test him retroactively? Look into the fact that
no, I mean, trust me. There's people around that knew if, and I'm saying if, even though I think it's true, that he actually did. There's people around that knew about it. Absolutely.
Well, yeah, you would think one person.
Who? His wife?
No. But whoever was, if he was,
okay.
I thought you had somebody. If he was using,
I got you.
If he was using, like the guy Bosch down here in Miami was the guy supplying a lot of Major League ball players, and he was part of the big scandal. That's how A-Rod ended up getting busted. They busted this guy, Dr. Bosch.
That's right.
Down in Miami. So there's always one guy. There was another guy from Balco. I forget his name.
That was the one that blew Bonds up, wasn't it?
Right.
Barry Bonds got blew up by the Balco labs.
Yeah, I forget his name.
I forget
his name. But yeah, so there's always one specialist in the background that's making sure that the levels are proper.
Well, you're down in Florida. Find out from that Waffle House waitress, Tiger was, stooping out the side. And Perkins. I thought it was Waffle House.
No,
I'm sorry. He went up. He went
you're not
up.
A real fan.
No, I'm not. I'll be honest with you.
Perkins waitress.
I'm sorry. That goes from a C to a C plus. Hey.
It's like you got to know the Baltimore Colts, man. In the movie Diner, Barry Levinson is a guy from Baltimore. He's a director and a writer.
Uh-huh.
And Steve Guttenberg played this one role, and he was going to get married to this girl named Katie. And this guy was set back in the late 50s. And this guy was a gigantic Baltimore Colts fan. And he would not marry her unless she could pass a Baltimore Colts trivia question test. Right. So it was sweating it out. It was formal. She sat down with a dude, and they were all pacing. It was like an expectant parent back in the day, walking around the waiting room. Ready to hand out cigars or not. And she's in there getting peppered with these Baltimore Colts trivia questions. And her very marriage is hanging in the balance, how well she does. So when you say Waffle House, I think, wow, he's not a real Tiger Woods fan.
Yes.
This podcast is over.
Good thing I can't marry into his family. Right. But no, I know I'll take your, I guess, argument for argument's sake on that, but I think somebody should still look into that. Thank you for not chopping off my head on that, because I know you probably wanted to.
Tiger Woods is literally my favorite athlete.
I know.
Sports, times, the amount of decades, and I mean, I'm a huge Yankee fan. I'm a big Jet fan. Joe Namath is up there. I certainly have some iconic figures.
God, you pick them, don't you? Said you pick them, don't you? Wow.
What do you mean?
Just listen to that list.
What does that even mean?
I mean, I'll give you the Jets because you turned me into a Jets fan, but I mean the rest of them, holy cow, just degenerates.
Oh, see. I don't even want to start with the Red Sox. I don't even want to start.
I'm not starting with the Red Sox thing. I'm just saying in all.
The whole Boston sports scene is crooked, as we know.
How can you say that? And the New York sports scene isn't?
I'm getting a text from my daughter.
Uh-oh. She playing today?
I have it on Do Not Disturb. No.
Oh, okay.
No. All right, where we at, man?
I don't know, man. We're talking about Tiger, and you won't accept my fact that he was a steroid cheating SOB, and he should be kicked out and all his titles revoked. I think so. Jack and I will get on this, and I'll give him a call after this, and we'll make sure.
Good. Work it out.
I'll give him the facts, and
work it out.
Yeah, I'll establish Arnie as the king of golf again.
See, Arnie had a tournament at Bay Hill outside of Orlando. Again, of course, it's not easy. It's got some length. It's got plenty of water, plenty of sand, but he doesn't tweak it.
I was just gonna say he never. Yeah.
No, he's a gracious host. He knows the people watching at home and people that are there want to see some birdies. They don't want to see the ball bouncing like trampolines off the stupid sidewalk greens which Nicklaus's greens were brown on Sunday. It's just.
Well, he was always good with public perception.
That's how you do it, because he's not a resentful human being. Who's calling me here?
Oh boy.
I don't even know who this is. Okay.
He was always good with public perception. I mean, I remember one story saying that somebody wrote in about him, saw him smoking a cigarette like on TV, like TV caught. And after that, he made it a point not to do that in front of the camera. Yep, he made a point that he would never smoke on the course or in front of the camera, at least where people could definitely see him. So he was always conscious of public opinion, which I think made him as popular as he is today. Just like Phil Mickelson, one of the best golfer ever.
The best?
I was waiting for you to chime in. Come on. You gotta like him. What's not to like? Aside from the possible illegal gambling and all that, hey, at least he ain't shooting them. What?
Six times runner-up in the U.S. Open.
That's fine. That's better than a lot. That's better than a lot of people. Man.
Yeah, I know, but it gets to be that many times, you start to wonder if he's got a problem with pressure. And it's a fair question. I
was there that Sunday at Wingfoot, 2006.
Okay.
Final round.
It's there again, September.
I know. I'd love to go back. I was there. I was standing on the 18th. I was in between. I was on the 18th apron, between like the green and the fairway. Okay. And we were waiting for Phil to come up. And that's the hole he hit the ball into the garbage can. And the state trooper had to go get it out of the garbage can. That was like, it was like a metal framed garbage can just stuck in the ground with a bag hanging in it. Okay. But it bounced off the hospitality tent and into this little garbage can or so forth. And that was his meltdown. That hole, he just completely blew up. And
no relief.
I don't know what happened with that, but I just remember standing there like, all right, well, wait a second. It's taken a long time for him to come up. What is going on? And I remember Colin Montgomery hitting because he was in the group. I think he was in the group before Phil that day. Right. Colin Montgomery hitting up and so forth. But yeah, we were wondering, where's Phil? Where's Phil? Why isn't he coming up and so forth? And gosh, he was a chubby little thing back then too, like me, right?
I tell you what, I just saw they made a documentary of this, and it's pretty cool. It's an hour-long feature of what I've always thought of as my favorite thing that ever happened in sports, the most captivating anyway.
Okay.
If you had to think about it, across all sports, what was just the most stunning, captivating thing you've ever seen? And to me, it was Jean Van der Velde the British Open, which they now call, now nobody calls it the British Open anymore. Now it's the Open, the Open Championship. Kind of bugs me. But anyway, the British Open.
It's because it's played in Scotland and people got pissed off. Because it's played in Scotland, it's played in other countries.
Britain. That's Britain.
No, it's Great Britain. See, Scotland's their own country. Yeah. And I think that's why, because people got pissed off and like, well, wait a second, we're part of this too.
Yeah, but aren't they all called the British Isles, and collectively it's Great Britain?
Well, it's kind of like America. Where
I don't know that that's the reason. I don't know that that's the reason.
Whatever. But I just assume. Go ahead.
Just the last couple of years, it's just the Open Championship. They don't call it the British Open anymore, and they always used to. In any event, Jean Van der Velde, 3-stroke lead on the 18th tee, 72nd hole, and this thing took 25 minutes to play.
Oh, yeah.
It was just incredible. Golf Channel has a thing called movie films or golf films. Mm-hmm. And there's an hour-long take on this particular sequence, which took about 25 minutes.
Wow.
It's just, he rolls up his pants, he walks down into the water, and he's going to hit out of the water, but the tide's coming in, and the longer he takes, the water's creeping up, and he can't really. It was just bizarre. And I loved that they did that, because I've gone back and watched it on YouTube, just for 20 minutes. But that's my favorite, most captivating thing that I've ever seen in sports.
That was just a stupid decision for him, though, to go for it from
where
he was.
A couple in a row.
Yeah, just stupid. The Tin Cup moment. I mean, really, if anybody's seen the movie, right. So.
Yeah.
But captivating moment. Geez, I don't know which one is probably. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'd have to think about that. That's good. You caught me off guard with that. I'll think about that and get back to it next time. But anyway, so I mentioned to you before we came on that I didn't tell you any details or something, and I kind of spoke to it a little bit in my last podcast that I got into my first social media fight. Yes. Yeah. By posting factual information. Well,
yeah, that'll happen.
That'll happen. It's just stupid. Let me pull this up. Hold on. Because I mean, I never, for this reason, McDonald's requiring everybody to wear masks now. Starting August 1st, all the restaurants in the U.S. Anyways, I never respond to anybody because I know that even though I'm coming from a genuine angle, I'm not attacking. I'm either saying something that is factual or saying, hey, listen, you kind of left this part out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's considered hostility now.
Oh, God, yeah. Well, hey, I mean, this is it. This was on, and this is what got me the most, is this is on a teacher-only group, Facebook group. Teacher-only Facebook group. So you have to get verified to join this group that you are an educator.
Okay.
So anyways, this person posted a tweet of a local representative that's running running for U.S. Senate here in South Carolina.
Okay.
And she posted his tweet, which I'll read part of his tweet in a second, but it said, this is her comments, this person's comments. It would be great to have a senator with personal experience in education. All right, hold on. So and here's the tweet right below. It said, my wife is an educator. I taught high school before I went to law school. Okay, well, guess what it takes tremendous dedication to be a teacher, he adds. The thing he left out, and the thing that's on all the TV ads that he puts out, is that he only taught for 1 year.
Okay.
He taught for 1 year. Okay. And what I did is I simply went on there and stated the fact that, and go to the previous comments because apparently a lot of people are jumping on the bandwagon. And I'm reading this. I'm on the treadmill. And I'm like,
and you said just a little perspective.
Well, no, I'm just saying, should I say anything? Because he didn't say this in his tweet. That's wrong for him not to say, hey, listen, I only taught for a year. I know it's in his TV ads, but should I say anything? Should I say anything? And finally, I just said, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to say something. So what I put on there is, there it is. He only taught for 1 year. And I was the first one to say that. Okay? Mm-hmm. Holy cow, did I get jumped on and attacked. I got jumped on because I said he only taught for 1 year. And this was my other response there because I realized people weren't understanding what I was saying. I said, listen, I'm putting this on there just to make sure, or here it is, not trying to start anything, just opening up everyone to facts, decide for yourself. That's all. That's all. Do what you got to do. I mean, hey, my mind isn't made up in the election. I don't know if I'm going to vote for this guy or not. But it wasn't in there in this person's post. It wasn't in his Twitter feed that he only taught for 1 year. So, hey, so everybody's like, oh, well, you know what? Because he only taught for 1 year, he knows how tough it is. He knows how tough being a teacher is. And that's why he couldn't, maybe that's why he couldn't make it. And yeah, just because the profession wasn't for him doesn't mean he can't be an ally. I never said anything about that.
Right.
Calm down. So
right.
I was getting attacked. And I wrote back this whole diatribe like, wow, people, y'all need to calm down. This is what's wrong with this world, social media, society, and education. As all I was doing was adding a fact to the original post. I even stated so. Nowhere did I state I was taking a side. It was for the simple reason that many did not like the fact I posted. You assumed I was on a side. Shame on you as educators for doing so. And I went into a whole thing. Oh, no, but then one guy, because I am who I am, and we'll leave it at that. He decided to jump on and go into let's say probably about an hour and a half back and forth. I was very polite, but this person was not accepting it, saying that I was pretending and fake and all this stuff. I'm like, oh, Lord have mercy. And I'm never doing it again. I mean, you know, it was sad. It's like I even said at one point, I said, I apologize. Oh, I put it. Get this. This is funny. Because I even go into this part right here where I say, oh, here it is. Oh, yes. Saying that I was trying to play a victim in this. I said, I apologize for ruffling people's feathers for stating a simple fact that had no specific tilt or specified tilt, weight, or hidden agenda. I will never post facts for the sake of enlightenment again. I apologize. And it just went on and on and on.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just stupid. It's stupid.
It's a minefield. It's a minefield of childish emotions. Everybody's self-worth is caught up in it. And if you deviate from what they think by 1 degree, they'll put you at 180 degrees away, like exactly. that. And you know, because everybody wants to get hyper. It's so freaking stupid.
Exactly. And I wasn't the only one that said that. And I wasn't the only one that posted that. I was the first one, unfortunately. But there was at least 7 or 8 other people that simply posted, he taught for 1 year. Please check the facts before you blah, blah, blah. He taught for 1 year. Not one of them got attacked like me. And I even said that to one of the people that was attacking me. I said, listen, dude, you're wasting your time on me because there's 7 other people on here that are saying the same thing. So I wonder why you're attacking me.
It's like a ball player that had, guys going into the Hall of Fame, and he played 12 years for one team, and then his final year of his career, he played with another team. And then fans of that final team say, do you think he should wear our hat when he goes into the Hall of Fame?
Oh, yeah.
And somebody says, well, he only played 1 year with us. Oh, what do you mean? You have an agenda.
God, yeah. It's just.
What are you talking about? I'm giving you perspective. It was a short time. You can't portray him as a guy who had his career with Team B, because he didn't. He spent most of his time elsewhere, and, as they call it, a cup of coffee with this other team. And if the guy had a cup of coffee in the teaching profession and you point it out, you're just giving perspective. But nobody they can't allow for it. It's
Right.
bizarre. Everybody's psycho. Everybody's goddamn psycho. It started. I'm telling you when it started. I've been saying this for years. Two phenomena happened in the 80s, 90s.
Okay.
One was shows like Jerry Springer, which really came out of like the Morton Downey Jr. show. And it just pitted people on the show as combatants, and it was always hostile. Hopefully it could get violent, you know? And Jerry, and then the big thugs would have to jump in with the big black T-shirts.
Yeah, Steve.
Keep people separated, but
Yeah.
maybe you got some hair pulling or, whatever. And this is what the show was about.
Right.
It was never about, resolving anything.
Mm. It was a calm WWE.
Right. Just as dramatic and
Mm-hmm.
Just as fake without being set up.
Right.
The other phenomenon was supermarket tabloids, and I think people that own no, because cable news stations were just starting to come around. CNN was probably around from the 80s, late 80s, and then Fox began in the 90s, I think, with the Gulf War. But they started to notice, like, you know what? Every time I'm in a supermarket, I see people buying this complete bullshit for like $1.50. Like, they have to know it's fake, but they kind of don't care. They're
right.
They're entertained.
It's an entertainment.
Right.
But see, that's
they said to themselves, okay, now I run a network, and all I'm seeing over and over and over is that, yes, there's a part of our population that wants to read a newspaper that's factual and actually be informed by reality, but there's another pretty fair-sized segment that just wants to read about scientists are going to, blow up the moon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They recognized the market for that, and that kind of worked its way into TV.
But don't you think the people that read that?
But then the audience, became more and more addicted to this horse shit, and they started to grow. They started to grow in the popularity of the shows. Now there's another one. Now there's just an endless supply of nonsense to titillate people. And this is what people are really after. They're not after being intellectually stimulated. They're into being titillated. They want to get fired up. They want their brains to fire off chemicals, and they become addicted to it. And the people that produce it say, hey, we've got an addicted audience. And I don't know what drug dealer ever anywhere said, you know what? I've got all these addicts as customers. I got to stop. This isn't right. They don't do that.
No, they're making the money off of that. I completely understand. And, but something that came, especially after that whole incident that I had, and you're right. I mean, people are just, what I've been saying the last couple of weeks are stupid. It's dumbing down people. And it's letting the dumber, and I'm saying that for a purpose, to become prevalent and have a soapbox, if you will, which is just completely beyond belief.
And the worst part is they have each other.
Believe them.
And they have each other.
Yep.
That's the worst
because
part.
Then the other, and I was thinking, and I know that the analogies don't really coincide with each other, but think about everything else in society we have rules for. Like when you drive, not to cross the yellow line, certain times of turn, stop sign, or you stop at traffic light, you stop. Grocery store, now we have rules in the grocery store, obviously with the masks and all that, but you don't pick up the food and walk out with the food. Every single part of our society, even in newspapers, there's certain rules. I mean, I know, well, we were taught way back when that, newspaper writers were told to write to like about a 5th grade, 6th grade level, middle school level, because they don't know how to read their papers.
So everyone will understand, yeah.
Right.
Cast the wise net.
Why isn't there rules for social media? Is it because it was just opened and released and now they can't bring it back in? But why isn't there rules for social media to stop this stupidity from being blasted out there? And, coming from a teacher's aspect of this or an educator's aspect, social media has ruined a lot of kids' lives too. And not for the simple fact of what they post, but for the simple fact of what others are posting about them. And has
bullying,
and well, when you were in school and when I was in school, and I've talked to numerous people about that, it stopped when that bell rang and you left school. That stopped. You went home. It was safe. Now it's not safe anymore. Why? Right. I mean, why isn't there rules? And I'm not one to push government regulation on this, that, and the other. I'm not a big brother person or anything, but I mean, this is something that's out of control because you got these morons and idiots spewing their supposed truths and what people are buying and believing. I just think there needs to be somebody needs to think about this and figure out how we can kind of rein it in to what it should have been.
Yeah, there should, but
about sharing your life or your pictures with people that you can't. I mean, that's what it was kind of designed to do, is to share things with people that you can't come in contact with every day.
It's designed to, the upshot of it anyway. I don't know how much of this is by design. I'm sure some of it, but the upshot is people become satisfied with the drugs that their brains produce having these experiences. There's a hierarchy thing. It's a status thing. And people want to be better than somebody else. And that's a place to go to do it. Even if you're wrong. Like every one of those people that got in your face for saying, just for some perspective, he only taught a year. Everybody that put you down as a result of that felt elevated. They felt better.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They're not, but they felt it. They got those feelings. And that's what people are addicted to. So they keep coming back to those websites.
I'm not going to lie.
Websites, then advertising is worth more. You can charge more for it. It's a vicious cycle, man. It's terrible.
Now that you mentioned that, feel better for it. I mean, going through those, I guess you want to say, arguments with that one person specifically, I felt better every time I responded because I'm like, I was being very polite and trying to open the mind up. Like, listen, this is not the angle I came from. Well, and I felt better every time, but every time I heard that ding or saw the phone vibrate and saw it was that person, it's like, oh my God, it's getting tiring. I mean, you're worse than a kindergartner. I don't understand how you can't get this through your thick head. And just wanted to keep on rolling it. And I guess your whole drug analogy there really sells it and whatnot. I don't know. Have you heard Twitter? They're going through all these sites and banning conspiracy sites now. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, I heard they're going to ban a couple keywords like QAnon.
Yeah, I saw that one.
I forget what else.
But how are they going to determine what's conspiracy sites or not?
That's a good question.
That's what irritates. And I know I talked about the rules in social media. Well, I guess that's a step. But how do you know what's
I don't know.
What's not?
I would almost welcome that.
What?
Banning some stuff that's a little too far out there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. Then people will say it's a slippery slope. You can't start having controls on that. We were founded on freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech, yeah.
And this isn't necessarily, strictly freedom of speech. Nobody's going to get imprisoned or fined or anything on the basis of what they put on social media. So it's not strictly a constitutional issue. But in concept, it's not the letter of the law, but the spirit of the law. We were based on, you get to express yourself here. Even if you're dumb, even if you're a jackass, even if you're a little mean-spirited, even if you got hit in the head with a golf club, you're allowed to speak your piece.
Yeah.
For better or for worse. So, I mean, there's that side of the argument too, as far as, limiting what people can say. Although there's a definite value in limiting what people can say. But who gets to make the call? Who gets to make the call?
Absolutely. Yeah. Who's right and who's wrong on that? But hey, maybe we'll find out in the
next episode.
In the next episode, absolutely.
And I'll wear the same shirt and I'll wear the same hat.
Well, hopefully by that time the Yankees will have a couple losses under their belt and we'll be good to go.
Hopefully not.
And my buffalo will turn into a reindeer. So,
right.
Hey, thanks for coming on again, buddy. I appreciate it.
I'm going to try to get up there next month. You have a couple of golf courses we can play?
Next month, yeah. There's actually I'm playing the college one on Sunday. The local college one. It's closest one to me. Okay. It's supposed to be. It's usually in great shape, so I'll check it out and I'll let you know. They actually have. Work that out. They have a whole radio system built into the carts now at the college one, where you can actually purchase like satellite radio and stuff like that as you go, or you can hook up your phone to the Bluetooth, and it has speakers built into the actual golf cart, which is cool.
Yeah,
for free.
I don't like music out there.
No.
No, God,
I'm starting to like it a little bit more. I put the little earbud in, like the little wireless one.
Oh, it's in your
just
ear.
one. Well, I know,
speakers.
But no.
People play through speakers.
There is some through speakers.
Golf is such a game of chill and focus.
Well, there was a couple times I played up there where the local college, my college, Coastal Carolina, that is, was playing football that Sunday. And I would play, so we'd turn on the game and we'd have the game playing, and you could hear the crowd cheering and all that in the background because the golf course is right next to the college.
Oh, okay.
But you would hear it was kind of cool. You played on the speakers and hear the game and, get to hear the roars and whatnot every once in a while. But
I'm surprised they're allowing any kind of noise. You said, how touchy golfers are about, you drop the tee in the grass 100 yards away. Ah!
I know. Yeah, just like social media.
So I'll get up there, man. I'll get up there as soon as I can, and we'll play.
All right. Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it again, man. Thank you.
All right, buddy.
All right, man. Later.